Today on Yeti at Large, rescued Kachina dolls, cleanup, and repairs.
Hi, and welcome to Yeti at Large. This is a channel focused on making the most out of what you have, no matter where you're at. Thanks for tuning in and helping out.
So being a Yeti, it's only natural that I would take companionship with Kachinas. Born and raised in Arizona, I've always viewed the Kachinas as kind of a peaceful and friendly reminder of some timeless proverbs and principles. Now I know that some of these are Zuni, some are Hopi, and some are Navajo, but I don't really care, and I'm not an expert on them, so I'm not going to go to great lengths to tell you what each one means and what their spirit guide and their sources are. I'm relying on you in the comments to help me with that. I will, in the comments though, give you a good description, best I can read each one of them from the bottom. As you can see, this is the badger. I've got a snake dancer, white buffalo, and so on. I'll do my best to place the artist's name in the description, along with a link if they have a YouTube channel or a Rumble channel. I'm going to try to clean them and do some repairs on them. I literally rescued these guys from a trash can a few years ago, and they've just been sitting on my shelf with all of the broken parts I could find in the trash can. Not a pleasant task, but well worth it. I'm going to start by blowing a little compressed air very lightly so that I don't cause further damage. And I'm also going to use a vacuum to try to clean them up, and again very lightly. I'll cover the nozzle of the vacuum with a little cheesecloth, so if it pulls anything off of them, I can save that and reattach it. Now please don't be upset with me. I'm not an expert in assembling or working on Kachinas. I'm just a Yeti who really appreciates the ones I have. I'm going to use hot glue gun for 3 reasons. 1, it's flexible. 2, it sets quickly. And 3, if I make a mistake, it can be undone. It's not somewhat permanent. And that way somebody with more skills and love for these might be able to do better than I have today. So let's get started, and we'll go through kind of each one in my process and see if we can identify which of these parts down here belong to which doll. Just as a demonstration, here's what the compressed air looks like. I have a fine tip on there so I don't tear him up. Once we went through all 7 of them, I vacuumed them, and then I started with the repairs. My little buffalo dancer here was the most tore up, so I wiped him down with a paper towel with a little vinegar and water on it, not to be too abrasive. And then I started by gluing on the biggest pieces, working backwards. Now I'm not 100% sure if I've got it exactly the way the artist designed the dolls, but I think I came pretty close. You can see here the hot glue will move for a moment, and then it just sets up, and it makes it pretty forgiving. Now, if there's some reason that we need to go back and do a better job on that repair, you can pull that off without causing any damage. Taking my time here, I worked from the biggest kind of to the smallest. His little hand rattle was actually really easy because gravity was working on my side. These guys are actually pretty tough for as delicate as they can be. I know that sounds like a contradiction. And I'm really glad I took the time to fish all these parts out of the trash can. The person that threw them away, I think, just misunderstood what these represent, what these stand for. I'm glad I saved them. As we work through this, it's kind of methodical and it's kind of tedious. You burn your fingers a little bit, but not so bad. I wasn't sure which horn was what, so I kind of looked at them from both sides, and I think these are the ones that fit the best with the left and the right. He's a pretty cool little dude, and I'm glad we're getting him back into tip-top shape here. Yeah, it looks right. Being a Norwegian, I got a lot of respect for a guy with horns like that. There you go. Much better. 1 down, 6 more to go. While I'm going through the other 6 dolls here, I had a lot of time to think, and I started reminiscing about a lot of my firsthand childhood experiences. I never understood why people didn't get what these dolls stood for from an early age, but how could I? I grew up with it. I remember seeing depictions in comic books like this one from Disney. Made no sense to me. At least Pluto gets it and he's on board, even if Mickey and Minnie don't quite understand what's going on. I lived in Sedona for a couple of years, and I lived just down the street where an Elvis movie was filmed called Stay Away Joe. The casting of it would, by today's standards, just be atrocious. It never occurred to me to have Burgess Meredith acting as a Navajo or Dene person. Now, you don't have Rocky without Mick, and he was phenomenal. I've done a lot of research on the movie and the casting, and not a lot is said about it today. They did get some casting right, but it is what it is, and that was Sedona in the 60s. We're coming to an end here, getting our guys all squared away, and I'm starting to do some research on who the artists are and what each doll's official designation is and kind of what they stand for. Again, I'll tell you, it's open for some interpretation, but here's what I came up with as we finish it all off, and I'll give each one of them their close-up. He represents the morning, the AM, the beginning of the day. The white buffalo, he's abundance. I've got 2 of them. There's his little brother representing the same abundance, plenty. I don't have any info here. If you do, leave a comment. The badger, he's the healer. Very rare snake dancer, carries your prayers. And Chiro here, I don't have a lot of information on him, but I really like this one. So we moved them to a much more prominent location here where we could see them from the living room all the time without the dining room chandelier in the way. I really do love these little guys. I hope we've done them justice by doing the repairs and a light cleaning. It's not a museum quality. If you have any information or stories, especially about Chiro, C-H-E-E-R-O, Cheerio here, I'd love to know more about him. I'm really grateful you guys come along for the ride while we do silly stuff like this. Please like, subscribe, and share this channel with a friend. We'd like to begin to start our push towards 1,000 subscribers, and we're still a little ways away from that, but with your help, I think we can get there.